Yep.
Ciao, everybody. Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. Today is episode 13 of our podcast. My name is Julian Gennatti, and with me, as always, is Alejandro Fonsello. Buddy, what's going on?
I'm good. Best team in Europe.
Oh,
Um,
yes, yes, yes. We are plugging that in today. Um, I think we've been on top for a couple weeks now, but
yeah.
I think the actual stat is we are unbeaten in the 14 league matches, and that is the best in the top five leagues in Europe. Um, so yeah, we'll talk about that.
You can
We'll
also
go.
include non-Serie A games, to be honest, besides the
Sorry?
Supercoppa. You can also include non-Serie A games
Yeah, you can put in some, what is it, three Coppa Italia games, a Champions League game,
because the
and then minus
Supercoppa
the,
isn't really an official stat
yeah.
for a lot of things. UEFA doesn't count, or the FIFA doesn't count Super Cups, I think.
Okay, so if that's the case, it's 18 games unbeaten.
Nice.
And sure, let's plug it in there, but we'll also be going over match day 28 yesterday or 2 days ago by the time you guys watch this, the match against Spezia where we won 1-0. I had my chance to give my spiel. I believe you did too, but this is the first time we could both talk about it. But first, before we get to Spezia, let's get into that. Let's get into this crazy, crazy streak, and let's dive into it a bit more. It is 9 wins, 5 draws in the league, and a lot of people are making a big deal out of it. What do you make of it?
Um, I think we have a question on it. I will bring it up shortly. Um, I'm so I'm not gonna discredit that. Like
Yeah,
I think many are doing. I understand why. Like I'm not gonna discredit it because it's still not special, but like it's still good. Like you don't lose games.
yeah,
That's okay. Um, I think the problem a lot of people have, and me included, is it's too many draws. Like because we're
yes,
catching up, so that's my issue. And we play a really bad brand of football, and people say, "Oh, but you're winning." I'm like, we're not. Like we're fourth place. It's not the same. If we were again winning a title and this was a streak, I would be like, okay, we're winning the title at the end of the season. Like I'll take it.
yeah,
We're winning, but
yeah,
we're fourth place. Like it's not the same. It's not the same as people saying, "Oh, but in the past, like was playing like this," which I don't agree. We play better, but they're saying we played this brand of football. I'm like, yeah, but we were winning titles and we were competing. I'm like,
yeah,
this is not the same, and we weren't playing this bad when Allegro. Not even in this last season. I think in this last season we played better than this. Um, I'm pretty sure we played better than this because this is actually horrendous to watch, and it's not all on him. A lot of blame is on him. Like the last few weeks, he has a very limited squad. Like it is what it is, and you can see it after 70 minutes. Some of these players are just dead. Like they can't
yeah,
anymore. It's done, and I get that, and I credit for him still getting the result out of it. But I said it to Justin during a live. I said like, how many games have we won? And after the game, you sit back and you're like, we could have easily not won this game. And I said
yep.
like many. I would say
I
75% of the games
I,
at least.
I was gonna give the I was gonna say every game in this streak, it was either a toss up, except for the Verona game.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Like if you really, oh, maybe the at the beginning of the streak was Salernitana because they kind of stunk, but I think 75 is a little bit light. I think you could push like 90% of the
Yeah,
games.
I want to be nice. I wanted I wanted to be positive for once because people call me negative.
Yeah,
I don't think I'm negative. I don't know why people say that.
it, it, but you're not though. It's realist. It's a realist take. It's 14 games. Yes, great. Could you have lost them? Yep.
Yeah, yeah, easily. Because
Could you have won them? Yeah, because you did. And could you have drawn them? Yeah.
yeah,
You
that
like we're literally and going back to your point about Allegri, how we used to play, how we never created as many chances as like a Spezia when
yeah.
this year prior. Like when Higuain and Dybala were doing their thing, we were beating what was a garbage like not Crotone, another team. Another bottom feeder like Genoa. We were beating those teams like 3 or 4-0 still.
Yeah, I agree.
And we were out chancing them by like quadrupling them in chances, not 4 shots on target each, like
Yeah,
yesterday.
yeah, and also we weren't getting dominated for 45 minutes at home by
Exactly.
these teams. Like there were moments in a game, but it would usually be like 5, 10 max, and then we would be back on top. Uh,
Exactly.
and even like yesterday, I was like, we're not holding on to this. Like Sunday, I was like, they're gonna score,
Yeah.
and if Chesney didn't make 2 great saves, they would have.
Yep.
And I was like, in my back of my mind, I'm like, if they score, we're not coming back. Like we have
No.
nothing. Like
Yeah.
there's actually no energy, no intent for 45 minutes. I'm like, this is not coming out of nowhere to come back from it. Like we need to grind it out. Once again, they did. Again, besides those 2 chances, it wasn't like Spezia were great, but like they still have possession. And I
Yeah.
keep saying it, when teams put us under pressure,
Yeah.
it's shocking. Like it's actually unbelievable that this is happening at Juve with the players we have. I'm like, this cannot be acceptable. I'm like,
No.
people say it's players, and I agree. Some of these players are technically not good, but I'm like, they're not this bad. Like
Yeah.
some of these things are basic, and we will go into a picture soon. And I think it's just pure positioning. How you how you position yourself on the field. And
Yeah.
at times
That's
I'm
cool.
like, yeah, I'm like, when Cuadrado has the ball, it's like, okay, who's he going to pass to? Because it feels like everybody hides and just stands in the box or around the box, and Cuadrado needs to beat this man or just cut back, play back to Danilo, and we start all over again.
Yeah.
And in transition, we actually stink. Like that's that's with the players we have and the way we play. You would think like in transition we will make the difference, but we can. Like we mess it up every time again in transition.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. So this squad of it has issues, and it's not gonna go away until the end of the season. This is how we're gonna play until the end.
Yeah. We're literally called Shithouse FC at this point.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Going back to your comment about positioning and they're pretty much static. How many of the free-flowing elite teams out there have a midfielder very close to the strikers when you're in the neutral to attacking third?
A lot.
All of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many times do you see when Quadrado has the ball, as per example, do you see Arthur behind a half, Rabiot chilling at half as well?
Yeah.
Uh, just like 5 yards opposite of the left center back, Rabiot is. No, nobody's near the forward. So even when Quadrado does play the ball into Vlavic's feet, the odd time it happens, no one's with him.
I agree. Yeah.
Morata's on the other side. Like the spacing with these players, and you're going to bring up something about when we go into our tactical board about what Max Allegri says,
Yeah.
and we'll save it for that. But I think the way he sets his players up, it's on him.
I agree. Like I agree. But there are also moments in the game where there is actually space, and the players
Yes.
they are. I don't want to say that, and I don't think they're inept to do it. I think just they don't do it for some reason, and it's not one game. It's game after game after game. I'm
Yeah.
like, you're not gonna go far if you have this mentality. If you want to play everything safe, it's gonna be a long 10 games in Serie A again. Like at some point,
Yep.
you need to take that. I will say risky pass, but they're not even risky passes. It's just
No.
a different type of pass, not playing it simple sideways
Yeah.
and slow. Like we were, I think it was in the first half. We had, I don't know, was it a corner? I don't know what it was, but Arthur was on the box, and like 5 seconds later, the ball was with Chesney's feet. I'm like, how? Like how?
Yeah.
Like this?
I'd rather him try and shoot.
Yeah, I'm like, shoot, play it in, do something. You can't turn around and play that back to the goalkeeper. Like you were on the
Yeah.
box, in the opposition's box. Like, it's actually insane. It's actually insane because how many times, even Arthur yesterday, like he had moments where you could shoot. I'm like, just shoot. Like nobody's gonna how you want to say that? No one's gonna judge you if you shoot, if you take a shot. Like that's all we
Yeah.
are asking for at this moment in time. Don't take 20. Sometimes they take like at least 10 seconds on the ball.
Yeah.
Sometimes. And that's not even pushing it. I'm like, you need to release it quickly. Like
Yeah.
it needs to be done. I get you need to like he can control tempo, but in a game at home against Spezia, we don't
You
really
can
need to
push
control
that
the
tempo.
tempo.
Yeah.
Like it's not needed. If you're playing Chelsea at home or Liverpool at home and he can control tempo, it'll be great. Like perfect. That's what we need. Like bring rest into the team.
Yeah.
But it's Spezia at home. I'm like, we need something different. And now, because when we signed Arthur, I didn't understand the transfer either way. Okay, but I read some uh, articles on Goal.com, like Barcelona watchers, like Romeo, basically, and they wrote he is um, he's very good on the ball, but he doesn't understand the moments of the game when you need to speed it up and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I was like, I hadn't watched a lot of him at Barcelona, so I was like, whatever, you know. And then he
Yeah.
came in, and like 6 months in under Pirlo, I'm like, it's completely like the article all over again. I'm like, it is this, and that's why
Yeah.
I think he's
It's
not
what
gonna
the heck.
survive.
No, and he's not. There's no chance. Like you see a guy who could control like obviously this is a really not a stretch, but like this is a massive. This is what you want Arthur to be. What Pirlo was. Pirlo could dictate play. He could play forward as fast as he wanted to. That's what you want Arthur to do. But he could also control the game at his feet and not pass and just calm the game down. That's what you want Arthur to be. But obviously, not everyone's Pirlo.
No, and I will bring up the first picture because that's Arthur
Yeah.
in, I would say, natural habitat.
Yep.
Because again, this is one picture. Like I could have picked out 6, 5. I just picked out one because it will be the same all over again. And
Yep.
to be clear, I don't think he played a bad game. Like I'm not like I've seen him play worse. I thought he was
Yeah.
okay yesterday. He was good at times. But my issue, and I think Allegri's issue, and people say, "Oh no, that cannot be true." Allegri loves that. I don't think he does. But again, and we will go into that. This is Arthur. He can play that ball to Quadrado easily.
Yep.
Like that's the pass you need to make. Like just look around him. That's the pass you need to make in that situation.
And
Now
it's simple.
I fast forward 10 seconds, not 1, 10. And this is the next picture.
That's
Like look this is not okay. And people say, "Oh, it's once." It's not once. It happens a lot. And people will say,
yeah.
"Oh, you're how do you want to say? You're shitting on Arthur. What about Rabiot? Rabiot stinks. I know that. Because that's the excuse people. Oh, you talk about Arthur. What about Rabiot? I'm like, we know Rabiot
Rabbit
is not good.
stinks.
Like,
Yeah.
forget about Rabiot. Uh, this is also Arthur. Like, I will show the first picture again because these things are not helping in the build up. They're not. In moments where you need to speed it up because look at the first picture. Like Spezia were just
Yeah.
tracking back. They were not in position how they should be because Corrado has a lot of space.
Yeah.
And he, as again, I say it again, I fast forward 8 to 10 seconds. So he kept onto the ball, hold onto the ball for 8 to 10 seconds to play to Danilo. And I've paused it here, but like you said before we recorded this, he threw up his hands and was like, "Where are you
And
guys?"
frustrating.
And if you
Yeah.
can see Quadrado was like, "I'm here." Like,
Yeah.
what's the issue? Unbelievable.
Again, this is when we talk about the decision making of passes, and we've been what hammering this down since we started the channel. The decision making of these players of this team, it's not been good all year. Um, Actually, the one time it was good was yesterday, or
Yeah,
sorry, in the game with Spezia when for the goal.
the
Like
goal.
Locatelli was great. One touch play, like he had a head on a swivel, ready to play wherever he wanted to, and he gave a nice assist to Morata. But
Yeah.
again, going back to this, these pictures on the tactical board, he's getting frustrated. I don't know if he's frustrated with his teammates or is he frustrated at himself.
No, with his teammates.
If it's his teammates, that is criminal because in that picture where you have the green line, like connecting where he should pass, He's looking literally right at Quadrado.
Yeah, and like
That
look
is
at
a
the picture. I
10-yard
thought he
pass.
was gonna release it,
Yes.
and
That
he
that is a 10-yard pass. Probably not even 10 yards.
no, it's less.
That's crazy. That stuff like we rip on Rabiot. Rabiot will make that pass.
He will, and I'm not saying it will be great, but he will.
Yeah, he'll at least look to do that pass. He might get intercepted by this doughhead at the bottom here, but like they'll try that. It's just it is. I understand, and I also gave Arthur a 5 yesterday just because of this reason. I gave him a 5 when I did my reaction, and that's solely because this level of team that you played against, you should be doing these things. Like you can't rate Arthur as a Spezia midfielder. You have to rate Arthur as the better player, and he should be making these passes. He should be dictating play. He should have controlled that game for 90 minutes, or at least 65 minutes until he has to go off because he's unfit.
Yeah, that's it. I agree, and it's actually unbelievable. Like, and it's again, it's one moment I could have picked up
Exactly.
more. Not just this game, a lot of games.
The whole
And
season. The whole season.
excuse me.
The whole season.
Yeah, even last season.
Yeah.
And people say, "Oh, you don't know anything about football." That's true. Like I'm just a fan. We created this YouTube channel. Like I can say whatever we want, you know.
Yeah.
But Pirlo said it last season. Like he
Yep.
said it. He said he needs to move the ball forward quickly. Like he needs to play those vertical passes. Those were Pirlo's words,
Quickly.
and even Allegri said it this season that he needs
Yeah.
to speed up the game sometimes. And there was a video of of Allegri, recorded on the bench. He was losing his, he was walking to the bench and he was saying some swear words, and he was saying, always playing that backwards pass, just play forward. And people are like, oh, he's playing for the camera. I'm like, he's not. He actually is not. Like, I'm not saying Allegri is an attacking man coach, but this has nothing to do with attacking. Like this is
He chooses scenarios. Like he wants this to happen in scenarios. He doesn't want to always attack like you. But in these certain scenarios, like in this case here, he wants that vertical pass fast.
Yeah. That's it. That's it.
Also, is that so? That Allegri video, is that about this exact scenario?
No, I don't know what it was, but it was happening in the corner of the opposition box. I think it was in the first half. I don't know what situation it was. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Was it? Maybe it was when Chesney kicked it out because Arthur, Danilo, and Rugani were just playing it at the back for like 15 seconds and they messed it up. I think that
Maybe,
would be
yeah.
the moment. I think that was the moment, which was actually insane because the
Yeah.
Lake was losing it at that moment. He was like, "What the hell are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Just play the forward pass," and they were messing about. I think that's the moment.
I have a question for you. So this video comes out, and like you said, people are saying, "Oh, is that for the camera? Is that for the camera?" And obviously, it's not.
No.
Obviously, it's not. But do you think Allegri understands that he is part of the problem for that to happen? Because he puts these players, he sets these players up into how they play.
Yeah.
I'm not looping on Allegri here because he is, he's saying the right things. So you got to expect like people to understand that and the players to understand that. But maybe the pass isn't on to play vertically, to play quickly. Maybe that, I'm not saying this Arthur case, that's pretty black and white. Like that has to happen. But maybe sometimes it can happen because he doesn't have enough players forward.
Maybe yeah. That no, 100% sure that's he's part of the problem.
Yes.
Will you say it? But I will go back to the article I read from a Barcelona watcher. I'm like,
for sure,
this is Arthur, so maybe it's also a bit of the player because go back 5 years, not 5 years. Go back a few years when you were still here. We were not doing this to this extent. We weren't. Like people say, oh, we were negative. I think people have that last season in mind a lot. I think, which wasn't good. You won the league. We got beaten by Ajax. That wasn't a good season, like playing wise. But we play good football under Allegri. It's not Pep Guardiola or Liverpool football, and I get that. Like he's not that coach, so I'm not gonna expect that from him because I think if he tries to do that, we will get beaten a lot because he's just not that coach. So
Yeah.
forget about it. But we played also some good football under Allegri. I think I will never, how you want to say, dismiss that. So maybe it's a bit of both. It's him at the moment not getting his point across, maybe because maybe just maybe I'm overreacting, but maybe just throwing it out there before the game. Guys, play the ball forward. I don't know. And he's
Yeah.
not actually training in it. I don't think so because that would be very strange.
Yeah.
But maybe it is. And also maybe it's just the players. A bit of
Yeah.
both because
I think that's what it is.
yeah.
I think it's just a bit of the players, a bit of how they're set up because, like you said in the past, like we seen 2017, we've seen how they can pass the ball. We've seen
Yeah.
2015, like the two different squads already. Like 2015 at Pirlo, 2017 at Pjanic, at the as the register.
Yeah.
Like two different points of attack, and you've seen that he can Allegri can coach two teams in that way, and they were doing it, and they're playing decent, watchable football. Now his point of attack, what it's Locatelli and Arthur, but we don't have the players surrounding them, maybe, and we don't have. Maybe he's not getting his point across, like you said. Who knows?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both because
Yeah.
I struggle to see that he's not actually, I don't want to say it, pushing forward or
Yes.
training for or something because it's pretty obvious. Like we've seen the video now, so he acknowledged the problem. I think
Yeah.
we now know he acknowledged the problem. So now
Yeah.
it's like, what is it? Is it the players? Like we know he doesn't want Arthur. We know the club will try to move him on. We tried to do it
Yeah.
in January, and we will do it again in the summer. He's playing because McKennie and Zakaria are out. Because
Necessity.
if they were here, he was not playing Arthur.
Yeah.
Maybe he would have started yesterday, maybe, but
Yeah.
on a big game, Villarreal at home, he will be
No
benched.
chance.
He's
Yeah.
not playing. He doesn't like him. Like he didn't like Kulusevski, who is doing well now.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, he's the coach, and it's pointless to keep players he doesn't like or is not going to use. It's pointless
Yeah.
for me as a fan, for the team because it's not going to work, and for him because he's stressed. So it
Yeah.
is what it is. But this is the only issue I have with Arthur because I think he's a good player. But I'm like, if you cannot improve this, a lot of coaches will have a problem with you unless you find a coach who's okay with it. And Allegri's not okay with it, and Barcelona wasn't really okay with it. Uh,
Yeah.
so it is what it is now.
Yeah. I want to see if the narrative changes once Allegri gets a player who does what he wants in that pivot.
And who
If
should that player be? Do you have a name in mind? Because I struggle
if, if
thinking
you're
about it.
talking about if you're talking about young and Italian, no. If you're talking about a younger profile, no. The name that is on everyone's probably mouth is going to be Jorginho.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about before when I was making this. I was thinking
Yeah.
about it, and I was like, who's gonna come in? And Jorginho was the first name that came to mind, and I'm like, this is not what the club wants.
Yeah.
He's aging, his wage, and all those things. So that's not an option. So
Yeah.
who's it gonna be? And I was thinking about it, I'm like, he's gonna play Locatelli there forever. That
Yep.
that was what I was thinking. I was like, this is not good. Like we need to find a solution in the summer because I don't want to see Locatelli play there for the next 2-3 years.
Especially if Pogba is coming,
Yeah.
or whatever, or Milinkovic Savic, or insert big profile player midfielder coming in, you damn well know Locatelli is going to be the pivot.
That's
Damn well.
that's sad.
Yeah.
That's actually sad because yesterday he was amazing in the first half. In the
Very
second
good.
half, his energy dropped, but the entire
Yes.
team's energy dropped. But in the
Yeah.
first half, Locatelli was
Exceptional.
because he struggled the last few games a bit.
Yeah.
He struggled, but that first half, he was everywhere and he was doing everything to perfection, winning the ball back, just
Yep.
passing it around, quality, intercepting balls a lot. I was like, okay, so I don't want to see him play there. I don't.
No, it's not. It's not ideal for him. But if it's Allegri and he can't get his guy, Like it's definitely not Ravella. I don't
Mm.
want people in here suggesting Ravella to be that guy because he's not. And it's definitely not Fagioli, and it's
No.
definitely not these young kids coming in. It's it's got to be from the market. It's got to be, and literally, if you can identify a Jorginho, a young Jorginho, sure, but that has the profile, that has the quality. I can't name it off the top of my head right now, though.
Me neither. I'm struggling.
Yeah. So Cherubini either has the toughest job in the world, or you're going to see Locatelli in that role.
Yeah, yeah. It's going to be, in my opinion. Um, because I don't see anyone out there that comes
No,
to mind immediately, and I think he's a player
that's
Allegri would like, and
yeah,
it will work from the get go. Besides Jorginho,
yeah.
so yeah, it's a difficult job for Cherubini. It is. It is.
Okay, so we can transform from the tactical board to our questions.
Wait, I have one picture still,
You
and
do?
that's
Oh,
yeah, that's
okay.
that's a positioning. Uh,
Oh, okay. So I do have it. I do have it. Sorry, my fault.
yeah, yeah, it's Danilo.
Yeah, Danilo has the ball at the bottom left here.
I picked this picture because it showed everything clearly.
Yeah,
It's not Danilo's thing. It's like I'm focusing on the positioning, on the positioning from the players. Like, look, where do he needs to go with the ball? The only option for me is Cuadrado, and he's almost out of picture here.
yeah,
Uh, that's it. Yeah, you can say Vlahovic, but if he receives the ball, he's done. Like he will
yeah,
have two immediately on him. I'm just saying, look at this picture, and we are hiding. I think a lot of players are hiding, or they have no idea where to go
yeah.
because there's a big hole in the middle. I'm like, nobody's coming into that because again, it's a still frame. If you play
Guess
it,
who should be going there? Guess who should be going in there?
wait, yeah, it should be Arthur or Rabiot. Even Rabiot.
I was gonna say Rabiot. It's not Arthur because Arthur's fine there because
Yeah,
he can bring that.
I see
It's
Arthur.
it's Rabiot.
It's Rabiot. Yeah, I see Arthur at the bottom now.
100%.
Um,
Yeah.
but nobody's making those moves, and it's not like you now. You can say Rabiot. If it's on a different side, it's whatever. Like
Yeah, no, for
it's
sure.
it's just that's my problem. Like it's like we have no memorized move. I don't want memorized movements because that's something Conte does. Just
Yeah.
pattern of plays. Like when somebody gets the ball in this position, everybody knows. Like Pep
Yep.
Guardiola. when Silva has when De Bruyne has the ball, the run starts immediately. Like the wingers make
Yeah.
those runs. Whoever is playing that false nine position is making that run immediately, and everybody knows he's gonna whip in the ball or he's gonna switch play quickly. With us, it's like Danilo has the ball. I'm like, okay, what's gonna happen now?
Yeah. What are you
I
gonna
have
do?
no
Like,
idea what's gonna happen now. It's like I don't know what's gonna happen when Cuadrado has the ball. I'm like, okay, this is nice. He didn't attempt to cross the last time. What's gonna be now? Is he
yeah.
gonna dribble? Is he gonna cut back? And it's like, okay, he's gonna cut back. I can cross that off my bingo card for the day.
Yeah.
Like we have no patterns of play. Like we have none. And
Yeah.
this picture shows that, in my opinion, it's one. I could have clipped 100 yesterday, 100 pictures, because it kept happening over and over again. Pellegrini yesterday, when he made that run forward, I'm like, just stay back because there's nothing out there. Just
Yeah.
let it go. Just don't do it. Don't waste
Yeah.
your time because it's kind of pointless. He overlaps, and the guy he overlapped, let's say Rabiot, he stands still. He doesn't follow through. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude,
There's no.
follow.
Yeah. There's
Give
no
him
team
some
progression.
support. Just give him some support. No, he leaves Pellegrini just running, and Pellegrini he stops at a certain point. He looks around and he's like, ah shit, what now? And he loses the
Exactly.
ball. He loses the ball because there's nobody else. And
Yeah.
he looked at Rabiot, and Rabiot was like, what do I need to do? And Pellegrini made that hand gesture in terms of run, like make that
Yeah.
run. So you take at least one defender with you.
Yeah.
If you don't, they're just following me. It's easy. So that's coaching. That's just coaching. That's not the players. It's coaching. That
Rabiot's a funny dude because he just runs around, prances around with no emotion on his face. He's just like, oh, I lost the ball. Okay. Oh, I made a pass. Okay. Like there's just no emotion on his face whatsoever. Ball goes out of bounds. It's not our ball, and like it should have been our ball. He's like, "Oh, okay, I'll get back."
Oh, and now you say that. In the second half, it was our ball, but the ball was
Yeah.
just strolling slowly out of bounds.
Oh
And he,
yes, that's
and the
yes.
fans were like, "Go
100%.
get it!" The fans were
Yeah.
go get it, and he looked at the
Yeah.
fans because he thought someone is catching me from the. Then he looked about around. And he's like, "Okay, he's not gonna make it," and just stopped. And he walked
Yeah.
again. And he looked at the fans like, "It's okay. The ball's out of bounds." And the fans are like, "Just get it and
Yeah.
keep the play alive." And I'm like, "Oh my god." He's
That's exactly what I was thinking about them. There's no emotion. He's like, yeah, it's good, whatever, relax.
he's so lazy at times.
Yeah.
And he loses headers. Like, he's a big guy, yeah? He's not
Yeah.
a small. And he loses headers. Header
Yeah.
after header. I'm like, how? Like, how?
Yeah.
I'm small. I win headers at times. Just put your body in it and you will win some of those headers. He never wins a header. When he heads the ball, it's just straight up in the air. It's not even pointed
It's
or
not directed.
directed.
It's not directed anywhere.
It's like I did my job. I touched the ball with my head. What now?
And that's remember we were talking about the SCU guy, Giacomo SCU, his aerial success. Oh, he touched it off his head. That's a percentage or whatever. That's a stat.
No, he's not. No. He's not that. He's not that guy.
That's funny. Yeah, but just basically going back to this last picture, it is what it is. You're right. There's no passages of play. A lot of static players, and realistically, Rabiot as a left center mid. I get he's a left center mid, but he should still be at half when the ball's so far onto the right hand side. He should be meeting halfway. It gives balance and it gives the correct spacing all over the field.
Yeah.
What he does with it after, no idea, but just at least allow that to be an option.
Yeah, that's my issue. That's my biggest issue. Like, even if he makes that run and goes and helps Pellegrini or whoever out, I'm not sure what's gonna happen after, but at least do what you
He did it.
Do what you need to do and help your teammates out. At times, not at times, a lot of times, it's like he's just playing for himself. Like,
yes,
I do my thing, and I don't know. I don't care what the rest of the team does. I just need to do my thing.
Yeah.
That's a feeling I have when I watch him. I was live with Justin, and people were saying, "Oh, if we need to sell him 25 mil, easy 25 mil." I'm like, 25. I think you will struggle to get 10 million euros. I think that's fair because he's 1 year left on his deal.
Yeah.
7 million euros. Clubs have watched the tape. Like, they're not stupid. That's stupid, I would say. And people say, "Oh, Newcastle have money." I'm like, he doesn't strike me as a player wanting to go to Newcastle. From PSG, Juve to Newcastle. I don't see it. I actually don't see it. So it needs to be a decent team. And the only team he's linked with, for some reason, is Real Madrid because of Ancelotti. But Ancelotti is not sure of keeping his job, according to Spanish media, which is actually insane. But it is what it is. Like,
it's Rabiot's best quality is he's just available for every game, and that's why every Premier League team wants him probably.
It just wants. Does he want every Premier League team? Is the question.
Exactly.
If he's like Ramsey, then no, because Ramsey thought he was good enough. He said no to Everton, Palace. He ended up at Rangers. With all due respect to Rangers, that's what he did. And he's injured again. Or again. I think he never was fit, to be honest.
Yeah, he walked on the field and he's like, "Oh, my bad, calf injury." Oh, international break's coming up. I'll make an appearance.
He spent 30,000 euros on his own. I don't want to say it.
Medical staff.
Yeah, since he was at Rangers, I'm like 30,000 euros. What the hell did you do?
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. Who do you pay? What do you do for $30,000 euros? That's actually insane. Like, that's a yearly wage of a normal working people. I would say normal, but like, and you spent that in a few weeks on doctors? That's weird, but he's still not fit, so it didn't work.
Yeah, wasted money. Okay, so now we can move on, right? We're done with that billboard. Now go into our injury time portion of our podcast, and that is sponsored by the SPORTENING app. You can download it on iOS, Android, whatever the Google thing is. And yeah, the link's in the description and in the video, of course. And then once you join, you can have access to the Bianconeri Zone chat. It's a bunch of people like Ale and I, and we're in the chat. We're always talking. We can rate how players did. I did that yesterday during the live. Um, After the Spezia game, I went over with all the people in the chat, but you can do it yourself and you can compare it with the people as well in the chat, in the Bianconeri Zone chat.
Yep.
Also, with the Sporting app, you can check standings, stats, scores, also all the news that are whatever team you want, but I'm assuming you're going to use the Juventus one. So, yeah, join it. It's a good time. Download, it's really easy. And now we'll move on to injury time with our questions from our audience. And is the first one from Notorious PIG? Am I just on track with you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this question is long-winded, I guess. If Ronaldo had been onside by 1 centimeter versus Udinese, that's match day 1.
Yep.
And 2, and if we didn't have a lapse in concentration against Sassuolo, I forget the home game against Sassuolo earlier on, we'd be 2 points behind Milan right now. Does that say more about us as a team, or does it say more about the level of competition?
I think that says, like, just looking at the bigger picture, because I can say the same thing if we won against Torino, if we won against Atalanta, but we haven't won for a reason, and the reason is we are not as good as maybe a lot of people would think. Not me, some people would think, and it's just in hindsight, it's like sitting back. Oh, if we won 4 points, we didn't win, and if you just sit back and think back about those games, Torino won, we didn't deserve to win. The Venezia one, we didn't deserve to win, to be honest. We were poor. We were actually very bad.
Yeah.
Atalanta, I think we could have won that. And if we won that, I don't think anybody had anything to say, to be honest. Udinese, Chesney messed up. But after that 2-2, we were dead on our feet, to be honest. So Sassuolo, we lost in the last minute. But we could have lost that game earlier because we weren't great. Sassuolo were the better team, in my opinion. It's like, yeah, in hindsight, but we didn't for a reason, and the reason is we're not good, and the league position says we're not that great. We're not that great. So
Yep.
I don't think it says a lot about the level of competition. Yeah, like people say, oh, the Serie A is more difficult. I think no, we're just not good. Like
The teams are crap. The teams are crap.
Teams are not good. Like we just play at the same level almost, and that's the reason. It's not that they are good. It's just that we are actually bad. That's my opinion.
Yep. It's the old adage: if your aunt had balls, she'd be your uncle.
Yeah.
Like you can't say ifs because it didn't happen. We just sucked. We sucked at the beginning of the year. We lost a bunch of points, and now we're playing makeup. And I don't know if the soccer gods are changing, and we haven't lost now in 14 games, but it's not sustainable the way we're playing, and the level of competition we're facing as well. No one's good. No one's good, and you can see that even in Europe, no one is good from Italy.
No, I agree. I agree.
Atalanta out. Well, they're in Europa League. Inter on their way out. We're in a scuffle against an average Spanish team. Like we're just the Serie A is not good right now.
No. So yeah, like I said, in hindsight, yeah, you can say that, but there was a reason why we didn't pick up those points, and in some games we're still not picking up those points, and in other games we're picking up those points, but like the other teams will be like, you didn't deserve this.
Exactly.
So, it's what it is. We are where we should be, considering how we play this season. Like that's it.
Yep, I agree. And we'll move on to the next one. It's from Juventino MC, and this is he's got a Batman picture. That's pretty cool. Allegri has not lost a Serie A game since November. Even with all these injury problems in the squad, does he actually deserve any criticism?
He does.
Yeah.
because if he said the last 6 games, I will be like, okay.
Yeah.
But
since November, so
since November, and you can I hate when people say like not calling them out, but I hate when people do. Oh, since January we picked up the most points. I'm like, great, you win nothing for it. So I don't really care. Like I'm not
Season
gonna.
starts in August.
Yeah, if we were top of the league now, I would be like, great man, we're on a
Yep.
roll. We're going to win that title, but we're not. So it's irrelevant. It's just how do you want to say it? Like it's just sugarcoating a bad year. I would say like
Yep.
making it look great, but it isn't great. So with that, the injury problems actually started a few weeks back when they piled up and they kept coming, and one comes back and he's out again. For that, I
Yep.
said at the beginning of the show, I said during the live, I do give him credit for somehow still getting the results. Maybe
Now.
not, yeah,
Now.
yeah,
Yep.
now. But from November, I don't agree. And I will take even before November, we're not playing good football. And that's my issue. When you're winning, people tend to let it go because you're winning. And with winning,
Yep.
I mean winning titles. But we're not, so so everybody will sit back and say, okay, we're fourth place and we're playing bad football. Like, what is this? And people will call it out. If you're winning, people will go with the flow. Most of the people, not all of them. Most
Yep.
of the people will go with the flow and say, you know what, we're winning. I'll take it, but we're not. So and it's an issue, and he actually deserves criticism a lot because he's the coach, and we brought him back, or the club brought him back for something better. And like, is it better than Pirlo? No, I, I don't believe it is.
Statistically, talking about where we were last year to now, no. In terms of goal scoring, no.
No,
In terms of what else? Trophies, no. So,
no, I agree. Yeah, it's worse on all levels, to be honest.
yep.
So yeah, he deserves
And
criticism. He does.
and then yeah, no, for sure. And I know this question in particular says since November, but we can't just look. If we're just looking at the question, sure, but we can't just look at since November because again, you're taking 1 point of the season when it's since August.
Yep.
So since August, Allegri's been the coach, and it's been crap. And I hate when people change the goal sticks or move the goal sticks.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning of the season, I said we'd win. I said why wouldn't we win? I said that on here. I said that, no problem. I know you said Inter would still win, but you didn't think we'd finish fourth,
No. I
or you
said
didn't. Oh,
no. I
yeah.
said I think we
So
will
like we
compete,
can't.
but at the end we will.
Yeah,
We won't have enough.
yeah. But then I see other people on different various social media platforms saying, "Oh, fourth is very good."
It's not.
Yes, in terms of the situation we put ourselves in, but we put ourselves into
Yeah.
that situation. So, no, you can't be happy with this. I'm not happy with this. Everyone's like, yeah, Champions League, woohoo. Like, this is the best of a bad situation that you put yourselves in.
Yeah. Like Champions League. Yeah. Like I never expected us to not make Champions League this season, or
Yes,
that we would
exactly.
be in a situation that we were fighting for Champions League. I was like,
Yes.
we're gonna get Champions League because we will be competing for the title. But at
First,
the end,
exactly.
I think
Yes.
Inter would have won it. So I never thought about saying I never thought in the summer sitting back. I'm like, it's gonna be another Pirlo season all over again. Last game of the season.
Yes.
Are we gonna be in it or not? I never expected, and the way things are going, I think it's gonna come down again to the last two games of the season.
100% it is.
And the last two games of the season are not Genoa or Bologna away. They are Lazio at home and Fiorentina away. So, because again, yesterday we won 3 points, great, and people were saying, "Oh, it's kind of done. Like Atalanta are falling apart." I'm like, Atalanta lost away to Roma again. I don't rate Roma highly, but they're only 6 points behind us.
Yeah.
We still need to go away to Lazio, like I said, to Fiorentina. We still need to play Lazio. We still need to play Inter. Like,
yep.
We still need to play those good teams. And they say, yeah, Atalanta also. I'm like, yeah, fair. But like, we played Spezia. They played Roma. They drop points. Maybe we go away to Lazio, Fiorentina. We drop points. Or Inter at home, we drop points. And they win against their Spezia.
Exactly.
Or whatever. So
we're not winning 10 more games. We're not winning 10 games in a row.
No. So it's like they played the better squad, the team, this weekend. They dropped points. We took advantage of it, which we should. And that's it. Now away to Sampdoria. It's going to be a completely different game again. They're fighting relegation. They're not a good team. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say they're a good team. They're actually a bad team, if I'm being
But
honest.
they will battle.
But they will battle and we will struggle just because it's Sampdoria away and our squad is heavy. Like, it's going to be the same players again because Berendeschi came on, picked up a yellow, he's out. And if Chiellini doesn't make it back, he will miss 10 players on Saturday. So it's going to be the same 11 with only Keane as a sub. And if you think about it, that's actually insane. And I do credit Allegri for picking up the wins even with that squad. In terms of, no, it's a good 11, it's good enough, but in terms of you cannot make any subs. He can, but he's not gonna do. He's not gonna bring in Sule or Ake or Miretti away to Sampdoria. He's not even do that at home against Spezia. So let alone away to Sampdoria. So it's gonna be 11 players playing for 65 minutes, and then Morato gets pulled off for Keane, and that's it. And he's hoping they get the job done in the first half, 1-0, and close shop once again.
That's crazy.
Because that's how he's going game by game now. And
yeah,
like away from home with that squad, I will be like, if you take the lead and you can see it out, I'm like, okay, like it is what it is. Like,
yeah.
But the only good thing is this weekend the players have 5 days of rest for once.
Yes.
And they need it. They need it big time.
Those everyone just has to sit up and take medical, put their legs up, get those octopus things on, and get the ice on them.
Yeah.
And put fragile tape around all of them.
Like this week just need to be tactical training and a bit of running, like to loosen the muscles, like nothing more, because it's actually insane. It's if Chiellini or Dushilo doesn't make it back, don't make it back, you will have 10 players out.
That's crazy.
That's an entire squad. That's a starting 11 if you put in the goalkeeper. So that's insane.
We'll move on to the next question. It's from Yusuf Mirmo, and he's saying, at the moment, we are shithousing our way through the Champions League and 4th spot. We are not utilizing Vlahovic well. Will this change next season, and that we will be more attacking, or will we continue to pull the leash on Vlahovic, Chiesa, etc.? Is Allegri the man to get the most out of our stars?
I think he is, because he has done that in the past. Like,
he
should be. I don't like. Again, I'll go back to it. We play better football under Allegri in the past, but we did have a better squad. So, and I'm not going to be a hypocrite. Like, I call a lot of players. We all do. So it's not fair for us to call the players out, say they're awful, then turn around and expect Allegri to play champagne football with the players we are cussing. Like that. I think that's not fair. But it still should be better than what we are showing now. I think you will get backed in the summer, especially if you make top 4. I think the club will do everything in their power to weed out a lot of these players and bring in some quality. Because I think those are the rumors.
I think that starts with the player he wants to play in the pivot role.
Yeah.
I think it starts with that. If he gets one of those guys, I think the ball movement will become more fluid, and he'll have another whole summer with them, training them, especially with Vlahovic now, a proper target man. I think he'll have all the pieces, but he needs to get that midfielder early. He needs to get that midfielder in July.
Yeah,
if I'm gonna be honest with you.
Like because this season, we had Locatelli 3 games, 3 days before we played our first game.
Yeah. So he needs to get that guy in July. He needs a whole proper preseason with him at the helm and everyone else around him firing on all cylinders, and then you'll see it. I poop on Allegri a lot, but he needs the players that he wants. Get him the players that he wants, and he'll be fine. And like you said, it's not going to be, even with the players he has, it's not going to be 2015 Barcelona.
No.
But it's going to be 2017 Juventus. Like decent players, decent combinations, good goals, good players.
Because once he played his style, or he wants to play how he wants, and we're winning, then you can play a player like even Rabiot. I'm just saying Rabiot, and you will still perform as a team because there's a winning mentality. Like everything's going well. The team knows what is expected. That was happening years back. We were just chucking in Hernanes, Sturaro, Lemina, and we were just winning again. It felt like nobody was subbed off because it was just a flow. We were in a good
Yep.
moment. We were well drilled. We knew what we had to do, and at the moment it isn't. So, because people say, "Oh, we need 3 midfielders." I think we need one good one, and we need
Yeah.
some quality on the bench, like better players suited to what he wants.
Yes.
Because that's the most important thing. Like you can bring in Nkunku, but if he doesn't want an attacking midfielder like that, it's pointless. It's
Correct.
actually pointless. So you give him what he wants or what he needs, the profile he needs, or you sack another manager, which I don't think is gonna happen. So
No.
I think they're gonna back him.
That's funny that you say that because I agree with you 100%. But it's funny that you said it because the next question from Gaetano is, do you think Allegri will stay at Juve next year? Yes.
100%. Even if he doesn't make top 4, he's staying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless he walks, but the club is not gonna sack him. I don't believe that.
No. Again, like you said that you think the management will back him.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, you can expect Allegri type players coming in, and you can expect a much better Juventus.
Yeah, I agree.
Like I think next year will be a year where we were talking about this year challenging for a title. I think next year we'll challenge for a title. I'm not sure if we'll win, but
we should. Yeah, we should.
Yeah. So we can quickly move on to or who's this? Not Ayub.
Yeah.
Sure. And they're asking if Dybala leaves, whom should we target to replace him? And this all goes back to what Allegri would want. But the board seems to think it's Zaniolo or Raspadori. If we're going with what the board and reports say, those 2 players, but what do you want?
I have no idea. Because, like you said, I don't know who's going to leave. Like, I need more information in terms of who's going to leave up front. And then maybe I can guess what Allegri wants to play. But if I will say a name, I want Joao Felix. So it's not going to happen. But that's the player I want. Because people, I don't know, I tweeted it somewhere or I responded somewhere and people were saying, "Oh, he's awful."
Awful
for Simeone. I'm like, yeah, but like it's Simeone, and people say, "Oh, but Allegri's the same." They're not the same coach. Like,
no,
they're not actually the same. I know what people intend to say, so I get it. But Felix he's amazing. He's so good on the ball. His vision, his technique, he's just good. And yeah, he gets benched by Atletico, but like if he comes, he will be the undisputed starter for Allegri. I like 100% sure, and he will.
He's a new generation Kaká.
Yeah, he will suit him. But again, I need to know. Like, do you have a name besides Zaniolo and Raspadori? Which I think is insane if you replace Dybala with Raspadori. I must say, even Zaniolo, I'm like, but Raspadori, I'm like, oh, that's a big drop off. But do you have a name?
I do. Well, besides, I agree with Joao Felix 100%, but I tuned him out just because of he cost Atletico so much money. He has such a long contract left. I don't know what the deal is with that, but the name I keep bringing up is Zabzalai because
someone in the live said that, who is from Uruguay. Also, I forgot the name. Sorry, but
he's from Uruguay.
No, the person in the chat saying. I said yes, 100% sure.
I think it's Dominic Zabzalai because he can play anywhere across the front line, left wing, right wing, attacking mid, like even striker. Yes, he has a little bit of an injury problem as well, but it's nothing major. It's not like Zaniolo where he's torn his knee twice. It's a thing where like, he ripped his hamstring a couple times, but Dybala misses more games. So I'd rather have Zabzalai. He's younger. He'll probably cost a pretty penny as well, but he's dynamic. He runs and dribbles.
Scores they paid 22 for him. Somebody told me in the chat. And I read an article in the Athletic UK. Seeing Man U are interested. It wasn't the summer, but it was like Salzburg were asking for around 40 mil. But it's not starting this season a lot because the other guy, I forgot his name.
Nkunku and Silva are on a bender.
Yeah, not a Kuku, the other guy I was looking for. Yeah, they're playing well, and like you said, he missed a few games, and like the other guys are performing. So it's like the coach is like, I made a decision now. They're gonna play.
Yeah.
Tedesco's the coach, right? Yeah, it's Tedesco.
Yeah, Tedesco now.
Yeah. So, but he's like I said it during the live. He was on Paratici's piece of paper. Like,
Yeah.
remember a few years
Yep.
back, 2 years back or something.
Little napkin. Yep.
On the napkin, he was on. He was on there. I don't know if you're still interested. I think we are, but I don't think like he's on the list. I believe that, but I don't think he's a serious option. If you read the reports, they want Zaniolo.
Szoboszlai is better than Zaniolo.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I do agree with that.
Yeah.
And I think it will cost cheaper also. So
Yeah. So yeah, with that, talking about Zaniolo and Raspadori, here we go. Transitioning to the next question. This is from K. Keefe.
yeah.
Since we've been linked with Zaniolo and recently Raspadori, which do you prefer? And do you see the scenario in where we try to get them both if Dybala leaves? We're not getting both.
We're not getting both just because we need so many work in other departments. If we didn't, I would say, yeah, maybe the club will go for both. But which one I prefer? I will still take Zaniolo because he's more talented, in my opinion. I think he's more talented. I think Raspadori is a better finisher, which is pure talent. It's Zaniolo, and on always injuries, but just on pure talent, I will take Zaniolo. But
yeah, if I had to pick, oh my god,
it just frustrates me that those are the preferred options, 1 and 2. That's it.
Yeah.
Who do you pick?
Maybe Raspadori just because he's more available and his production and contributions this year are way much more than Zaniolo.
Yeah.
And I'm a big guy on what have you done for me lately, so I'm picking Raspadori. But again, then you have to go to war with Carnevale again. And now, are you making Sassuolo 2.0? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I don't know. It's very underwhelming, those names.
Yes.
To replace Dybala, if you needed to replace Bernardeschi or a type of Bernardeschi, I would be like, yeah, it's an upgrade. You know?
Yes.
You need to replace Dybala because that's the issue. And I know reports are saying it's Zaniolo will come even if Dybala stays. I'm like, that's weird, but okay, if you say so.
Yeah.
If the reports say so, I need to go with it. But I still believe it's Zaniolo if Dybala leaves because that makes more sense to me, especially if you look at what we need. But I'm like, going from Dybala to Zaniolo or even Raspadori, I'm like, oof.
That's a big drop off.
Yeah, that's a big drop. I don't know the injuries of Dybala and all those things. I'm like, it's still a big drop off for when they're actually playing all three of them. I would take Dybala any day of the week.
100%.
And on the weekend twice because that's when we play. I'm like, Zaniolo. I don't know.
I honestly, the only way I would take Zaniolo is if Bernardeschi left. Like if that was a swap.
He's leaving.
No, I'm saying if that's a swap, sure.
Okay.
But if the ball is staying and Zaniolo coming and Bernardeschi leaving, that's the only way I would accept this. But other than that, absolutely no. I'm sorry, no.
I agree. That's how I'm thinking about it. Because
yeah.
When he burst onto the scene, I'm like, wow,
Zaniolo. Get that guy.
Get that guy. Then he got that knee injury. I'm like, oh, he came back. He did well the first few games. And then again, I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah.
This is not good. And it took away a lot of them. Like, people can say no. Yes. It will take away something from Chiesa like it took something away from Del Piero back in the day.
100%.
It is what it is. And he has 2 of them. 2.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's actually a very lot. Because I saw a clip from Chiesa. Maybe you saw it when he was going past players on speed. I'm like, I was watching it. And I'm like, we're not gonna see this with the same consistency just because he will feel it's not. I don't want to say it. He will feel it doesn't feel well. It
Yeah.
doesn't sit right to do it time and time again. So he will need to adapt his game. I think he will. I think he will, just because who he is, his mentality, and also
Yeah.
who the coach is. I think he will adapt, but it will take away something from him. Like it took something away from Zaniolo. I think that's clear. We can say that, no?
Even if you look at the walking video of him today,
Yeah, yeah,
his leg is so skinny.
yeah.
Like
Just
it's so skinny.
because he didn't train it for I don't know how long,
Yes.
and it
Just
goes fast.
it's gonna take a long time, and he needs to
Um,
build it up again, and it's gonna be crap. It's gonna be suck for him.
I read something on Gazzetta dello Sport that is I don't want to say it. His recovery at the moment is already ahead of schedule,
Great.
just because he's
Yeah.
doing not extra, but he's doing yeah, maybe extra, but he's doing
most he
better than
can.
expected.
Yeah.
I'm like, great, but don't push it. Like
Yeah.
it's an if like it needs to be 100% healed before you get back.
Yep.
So
You see what Zaniolo did.
yeah, like I rather
Okay.
miss him for an extra
What's
month
up?
and a half. Like if he can play back at the end of October, but like the feeling is like maybe it's a bit too soon, but it looks good. I'm like, or the other option is he will be out for another month. The club should say sit down for another month.
Correct.
Even if you're struggling, just sit down because you can come back and we can miss you another 4 months. And what's the point then? What's that mean?
Correct.
So it's also up to the club in the summer to find a backup or a backup who's going to replace him now, and then when Chiesa comes back, be the backup.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
so yeah, let's see what's going to happen.
We'll move on to the next one. It's Unholy Fun. And he's asking the Quadrado situation. For me, 2 years is too much for him. Clearly, he will only get worse next year. Again, we can make a problem for us signing or getting rid of him for summer 2024. Your thoughts? Yeah, that's too long.
Yeah, and I thought that those 2 years were redo the 23 season and until 24, but it's 25 plus an option. I'm like, oh. I'm like that's too much because I like Quadrado, like
Yeah.
but he's regressing and he's gonna regress less next season, and in 24 is gonna be more, and in 25, oh boy, I don't even want to think about it. So I'm like, this is not a good deal in my opinion. It should be 1+1, and the +1 is just to give him some hope that he can stay for another year. But it's like the club will say no.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. It should be 1+1. It should be not minimal salary, but 3 million is fine. 3.5, fine. He's going to transition into a bench role. He will.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you age. So, he's got to understand that, and it's got to be the club option of the +1, and that's it. I'm sorry. He was good against Spezia. I'm going to say that. I thought he was not really. I thought he was good against Spezia.
Yeah, I agree.
But the past 3 months prior, he's very average to below average. The regression is happening.
Yeah, I agree, and that's why I think it's not a good deal. Like it should be 1+1, just to be in control of it. But that +1, I think it's too much. Like two is wow.
Two guaranteed is crazy.
Yeah, 2 guaranteed is not the way to go. But it is what it is. Let's see. Yeah. I think it's gonna be 2, but
sucks. But again, if he accepts a transition to a backup role, sure, maybe. Still a lot, but you can stomach it a bit better. Our last question comes from Anine, and it's pretty much a banter one. We'll give you some context for this one.
I will read out the tweet.
What's up?
I can read out the tweet.
You're gonna read it out?
Yeah, I can read it out. I have it over here. I think. Wait.
Okay, so this is for pure context of why he has asked this.
So, someone on Twitter tweeted out, "The sooner we get rid of the league, the better. The age of a nonsense battle-hardened, hard-on-sleeve center back has passed. Ball-playing center backs have been the curve for a few years now. Integrate Dragozin, sell the league, and use the funds to sign a new center back, one that is adapt with the ball." That's the tweet. So that's why I need a saying, should we sell the Lake to get a ball playing center back?
This person, this tweeter, was dead serious.
I would say this is the wildest tweet I think I've ever read because it's serious. Like
Yes,
it's not banter. It's
like
serious.
they proceeded to defend that tweet forever, like for the rest of the day.
And again, everybody has his own opinion. Like
Yes.
I'm not gonna say he's wrong, but he is wrong. Like you don't sell the Lake, but like it's his opinion. He believes it. So I credit the person for sticking with it and actually defending his position because that's what he believes. That's fine. And I agree that we need a ball playing center back, but it should be alongside the Lake.
Yes.
It shouldn't be for the Lake because for the Lake, I'm like looking around. Okay, who's gonna partner him? You're gonna okay. You sell the Lake. You gotta. I don't know who the heck he wants because he said Saliba, and I agree with Saliba.
Yep.
But like, okay, you sell the Lake, you get Saliba, and he's gonna play with who? Rugani? And bring in Dragozin? Like, again, I keep saying, what do people see in Dragozin? Because every time I watch him play, I'm like, oh boy.
If you just watched the 5-0 demolition derby,
He was horrendous.
He was the root cause of like 3 goals.
He was like, but even when he played for us, even for the under 23s, every time I watch him, like
mistakes.
I don't see it. Like I actually don't see it. And maybe he's a late bloomer, but I've not seen it. But the thought of selling the Lake and proceeding with the idea of it's a good idea, I cannot believe it. So the person want 2 playing center backs with the ball, and he named players like Diaz and Stones, I think, and I think those were the names. I think I'm like, okay, I get what you want, but like selling the Lake for that, I don't know. Like that's wild. No. That's actually wild.
You have a 22-year-old turning 23, 22. I think he's turning 23. I think he's turning 23 this year. Generational center back, and you should not sell them. Sell that unless he asks to leave.
Yeah, and he proceeded with saying, "Just tell me what he's good at." I'm like,
just
what?
Everything.
Okay. And someone said everything, and he said, but he cannot play with the ball. I'm like, oh god, Chiellini stunk with it. Like he cannot play. And then he said, yeah, but he's that old defender. We football doesn't need anymore. I'm like, that's complete bullshit. Like, where is this coming from?
Yeah.
I agree that most of the center backs now can play out from the back, but not every team has 2 of them.
Yeah.
They have 1. And some of them have just 1 okay player, and they still win stuff. Like it is what it is. I want my defender to actually defend. I don't want him to be Ben White, who's good on the ball, but defensively he stinks. Like I'm not. Imagine giving Allegri 2 playing center backs, ball playing center backs, but they can't defend. He will sack himself. He will walk.
Yeah. Instead of him yelling, "Play the ball vertically faster," I'll be like, "Can you just up and defend?"
Like it's actually, and I agree. I want a center back, ball playing center back more, because I think the Lake is good on the ball. Like he will not dictate play like Bonucci can, but he's good on the ball. He played for Ajax, and I think people forget how he played for Ajax.
Yes,
they played out from the back. Like everything started from the back. Everything. He played midfield for Ajax in the youth. He can play with the ball again, not like Stones. I agree. Because I think Stones is good on the ball. But he can play out from the back when needed. And Allegri's not asking that from our center backs. He's asking that from Danilo and name it. Whoever is playing on that wing, on the left back position, he's asking that from those players. Unless Bonucci is playing, then Bonucci can do that. But other than that, he's not asking that from any of our center backs. So, yeah, that's one of the wildest things I've seen on Twitter.
Super weird.
Ever.
I had to bring that up to everyone's attention in their group today. I was like, this is something else. Yeah, he must be Dragosin's agent or something, or some Romanian just fanatic. I don't know. Weird. Yeah. Those are our questions though. There was one that you omitted because Twitter went down, and it's about the ginger ale.
Yeah, I don't know
you've
what
had ginger ale before.
No, I don't know what that is.
That's a problem. And if you are in the or if you're listening to this, it's going to be up to you guys, and I need you to comment. What is better, cranberry ginger ale or regular ginger ale? If you guys know what ginger ale is, because apparently some don't. So let us know in the
I
comments.
know what ginger is. I send you the picture, but
Yeah,
like,
ginger ale, the liquid form.
yeah, like I'm not gonna taste that because the ginger itself doesn't taste well. So I don't. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that's gonna taste. And
I
mixing that
like it.
with cranberry, I think, oh boy, isn't that really sour?
I personally don't like the cranberry one, but my cousin likes the cranberry one. I like just normal regular ginger ale. It's good. It's tasty.
Is it okay? How do you say that in English?
Sweet. It's sweet.
Is it sweet?
It's not sour. It's not tangy. It's sweet. It's
And
carbonated.
okay, it's that's what I was
Yeah.
looking for. Okay, I don't really like those type of drinks, so
Fair enough. So those were our questions. That concludes injury time here at the Bianconeri Zone podcast, and that was brought to you by Sportening. Remember to download that app and join our community on there. The link is in the description. And with that, we will conclude episode 13. Um, on behalf of myself, Julian, and Alejandro, thank you for listening.
yep.
Follow us on Bianconeri Zone on Twitter and Instagram. Follow Alejandro at AlejandroBZ. Follow myself at Janani151. Follow Justin at Justin Saforo. And click the bell icon to be notified for all of our latest stuff. If you did miss it today, if you did miss, I guess, yesterday, Alejandro and Justin did a live on Monday morning. Well, my Monday morning, Monday afternoon for LA. But we're trying out new things, and the only way you can stay notified is if you click the bell icon. So click that. Click the like button for this video and subscribe to the channel. Ale, anything else?
Nope, that's it for today.
Great. My voice or my throat hurts. Talk too much. Anyways, guys, thank you very much. Forza Juve. Stay tuned for all of our stuff. Ciao.